Have you ever had an assumption of why somebody didn't get back to you, why somebody didn't follow up, whether you're single or dating or in a relationship? There are plenty of times our minds can get, should we say, a little creative? Well, today on day 61 of our 90-day quest on improving communication, connection, community, charisma, fun, and flirting, we're going to talk about this. I'm Jacqueline Nichols, and I am very aware of the amount of assumptions that are made because all my years of introducing singles together, I often get emails about one another, and they talk about the date, they talk about the lack of follow-up or the follow-up, and I have to sometimes tiptoe in a polite way around what somebody is assuming that happened. It's amazing our own perception when we have somebody that is saying they're interested and not acting on it, or vice versa. We're not sure what to do. Maybe there was a misunderstanding and they're acting a certain way, but it doesn't really align with expectations. So recently I had somebody ask me out and said, hey, I'd love to get together for coffee with you. Let me know when you have time. And then a little bit later, I get a message saying, hey, I'd love to call you. And so I gave him my phone number, and then like a week and a half passed and I didn't hear anything. And then I checked in to say, hey, did you try to reach me? I just want to double check that I didn't miss you, because I didn't want to assume that he asked all this information and then forgot. And so he said, yeah, he did try, but didn't leave a message. Then he was going to try again, which he did. Then we made plans to meet up, and then he disappeared on me again. And I was like, okay, I've known this guy for a long time, so I'm assuming the best. But when I said it to a couple friends, they immediately went to what doesn't work, because what they've experienced, because they didn't have a personal connection to the person. And unfortunately, the whole ghosting, the lack of communication, the disappearing act happens more than we expect. And so when this person didn't follow up again, I thought, okay, well, I don't want to set the precedence that I'm the one who needs all the lead. I got to take charge. I got to teach people all the time, especially because it's my profession. And so I thought, it kind of bugged me. I waited through the weekend, and then I just had this feeling that there was something more to it. So instead of going in with a negative, like, we had plans and then I never heard from you, that was rude, I could have done that. Instead, I went with the attitude of communication and assuming positive, and just said, hey, I'm checking in with you. We had plans. I'm concerned. Did something happen to you? I genuinely want to check in with you. And I get a message reply back to tell me that a loved one had passed away that morning and that they had become very ill over the weekend. And it was just that feeling of like, I'm so glad I approached it correctly, because I had no clue, but inside of me, I felt like there was more to it. But our natural reaction nowadays has become, oh, what a jerk, how rude, how disrespectful, how selfish, that person didn't get back to you. But we don't always know what is happening in their lives. And so the respectful thing is to check in and assume that something big happened. And even if it didn't, that's okay. We do need to be better with communication, but we also have to be respectful that things happen. And so it was a great reminder, and a sad one, but it was also really important to stop and think, okay, I'm glad I communicated back with the person. I asked questions. I assumed something happened that denied them the ability to communicate. They were apologetic and communicative in what actually happened. And of course, when somebody very important to you passes away, that takes precedence over dating. But I want to challenge you to take the time to actually ask some questions. Follow up with people. If somebody drops the ball and doesn't get in touch with you, ask them. There's plenty of times that this happens to me, it happens to my clients, it happens to people all the time. Yes, there are flaky people. Yes, there are people that, they like the idea of going out, but maybe they're not ready to date. Maybe they're just excited about the possibility. And so some people just have emotional reasons. Some people have time constraints. Sometimes it's a personal situation. It can be health situation. But it's always best to ask, and ask in a very kind, non-assuming, negative way. Instead, focus on what could be possible. And in this moment, it allowed me to get information that I could turn around and be very compassionate and caring and understanding. And I didn't have to tally it up to one more person who didn't follow through on communication. I took the lead for what mattered. So I want you to think about this. When can you take the lead and just get some clarification for extra information? I'm Jacqueline Nichols, and I want to support you in really digging in and pushing yourself to learn more, grow more, and step up for more. I'm excited for what we will talk about again tomorrow. So for now, like, share, comment, subscribe, and get involved in this conversation, because I'll always have something more to chat with you about.